with respect to prelims, what I did was to prepare my base notes and static part really effectively. So, a couple of mistakes the people, which I feel that the candidates are making is first is that they are looking for perfection, they are looking for the perfect preparation, which will never happen because UPSC has such a vast syllabus and such a vast array of material that you cannot prepare everything. I found out that the people are not doing well is the appearing for the tests, which I would say. First was to ensure that I have some good quotations available with me. Second was to ensure that how am I answering the questions bit by bit. If I feel that the earlier they start, the more easier it becomes for them, so that they get a hang of things around them.
Hello dear aspirants, welcome to this Toppers Talk session organized by VisionIAS. So today I am joined by Mr. Amritanshu Nayak, who has secured All India rank of 110 in UPSC CSE examination of 2023. Welcome Amritanshu.
Thank you, sir.
So first of all, many congratulations to you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, so how is the feeling right now?
Feeling a bit relieved that the struggles of many years came to fruition at this point of time.
Right. So is the this anxiety and everything synced in or yet to be synced?
So yet to be synced in, I could say.
So how did you manage this stress and everything before examination and even after the result also?
So one thing about stress which I noticed very early on was that stress is not a solvable problem, it is a manageable problem. Right. So I had to manage it by talking to my parents, reading books and doing something I really like. So slowly but steadily I was able to control it up to some extent, but yes, there were many stressful days.
Exactly. So we'll discuss a lot about the stress management also. So we'll start with this thing your educational background, and tell me from very beginning how you had pursued your schooling, then college, and after that regarding your UPSC related journey.
So with respect to my education, I did my 10th and 12th from DAV Public School, Chandrasekharpur in Bhubaneswar. And after that, I went to BITS Pilani Hyderabad Campus for my bachelor's in engineering, where I also did a minor in finance. And post that, I gave my first attempt at UPSC while I graduated, which did not went very well as I was eliminated in the mains. But in the second attempt, I prevailed, if I could say that.
Okay. So this was your second attempt, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what motivated you for pursuing the civil services?
So apart from an interest in public service, I was also motivated a lot by my family. Okay. As I come from a family of civil servants, so it seemed a very natural choice for me to take up this field.
Okay. So your father is civil servant, right?
Yes, sir. He is a civil servant.
He is a civil servant. Currently, where you are residing?
I am at present residing in Delhi, sir. Currently, as my dad has been transferred here.
Okay. So you come from a technical background, like bachelor's in technology, right?
Yes, sir.
And what was your stream in that?
So I did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering.
Electrical and electronics. So, what are the chances for a candidate who is coming from a technical background in the civil services?
So I would say he has a very bright chance
if
he wishes to pursue civil services as a field, because all his aspects about analysis and ability to problem solve will come into play while preparing for civil services. Major disadvantage which he or she might face is the writing habit, which is very much needed in civil services. If he is able to manage that, I think civil services is a very bright career path for him or her.
Right. So you are a classroom student of VisionIAS.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So which year you have taken the classes at VisionIAS?
So I enrolled in 2021.
2021. So the first attempt of yours was in 2022.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how was your experience with VisionIAS in general?
So my experience with VisionIAS in general was very good. It helped me be disciplined, and it also prepared a base set for all of my notes. Okay. And in addition to that, I also got some invaluable assistance through the test series, especially for my mains preparation. And for interview, the mock panel and the faculty panel were quite useful in helping me focus on key areas where I needed to improve.
So currently, as I can able to see that the students are struggling, as you are also talking about the answer writing related things. Yes, so in the classroom program, they have this assignment also, yes, and there is a gradual mini test also, yes, then All India test series. So yes, have you appeared and have you gone through all these things?
Sir, I used to regularly appear for the daily assignment part and the mains and the mini tests as well. For the test series part, sir, I was appearing for the All India Test Series. So I would just say that be regular in whatever tests you are attempting and analyze them properly so that it helps you in the future.
So coming to some specific sections like current affairs, and it is a kind of like nightmare for many of the aspirants because current affairs are a kind of like ocean. We do not know exactly like what is the width of it, like what is the depth up to which we need to prepare the current affairs. So how did you manage to prepare current affairs?
So with respect to current affairs, I followed a few sources. First would be the newspaper. I used to regularly follow one important newspaper. I think for the last 2 or 3 years, I completely followed one newspaper in a very dedicated way. And next, what I was doing was to refer to Vision's current affair magazines regularly. Month by month, I used to read them cover to cover and find out what was the important thing there. Third, what I used to do was to refer to PT 365 and Mains 365. And at the end of it all, I tried to apply all of my knowledge and analysis skills in the test series and used to do further value addition from the test series and the model answers provided by them.
Right. So it is a kind of like holistic strategy where you are first like going through the content, then you are practicing, then you are appearing for the test, and then based upon that you are doing value addition also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So because most of the students are getting confused, like because you have told about a lot of sources, like first is newspaper, then monthly magazine, then PT 365.
Yes, sir.
So have you prepared any notes also from that?
Sir, some amount of notes I prepared, especially for things which I consider to be very important.
Okay.
I prepared notes for them, but mostly with Vision, the benefit is that all of it is available in point format.
Right.
So it becomes easier for me to refer them in an easier way regularly.
Okay. So how did you manage your revision related things?
So with respect to revisions, I followed a few strategies. First would include reading and rereading the material which was available to me, including my notes in a dedicated way. Second would be to appear for tests so that my muscle memory gets built up and I am confident in the material which I prepared. And third would be analysis and value addition. In case I miss out something or in case the examiner has given me a good remark which I should incorporate in my strategy, so I try to incorporate that.
And what about the feedback mechanism of VisionIAS? Like, have they provided you any specific feedbacks where you worked upon and improved in your next attempt?
The first and foremost important feedback which they provided me was that my handwriting. So I tried to improve my handwriting up to some extent, and I believe I was successful as well. And second would be the specifics, where some points would be missing, or a better way of presentation could be adopted. For example, in case I wrote it in point-wise format, told me to use a diagram so that more important points can be added and the presentation could become more beautiful so that you get more marks.
And what about the stress management before the prelims examination and during the preparation also?
Sir, with respect to the stress management, I would say the role of my parents was very essential.
Okay.
So they always used to tell me that UPSC is just an exam, you are appearing for it. So don't be overwhelmed by the nature of the examination.
Right.
And as a result, sir, I also used to pursue things which I really liked, like watching a movie, going out with friends, eating some good food. So regularly I used to manage that. And just before the examination and during the examination, I used to always prepare myself that no issues, you have prepared well, you will do good.
Right.
And that's all, sir.
Okay. So any specific hobby that you currently pursue and you have pursued the same in the preparation journey also?
Sir, I had this hobby of regularly reading books, watching movies, web series. So I used all three of these to reduce my stress during the examination.
Okay. And were they related in some way to the civil services or they are completely apart from civil services?
Sir, I would definitely say having a habit of reading good books or watching good movies increases your outlook, which eventually comes into your answer sheet as well. For example, some points which are not available in the regular current affair material could come from a very good book and we can try to replicate it. And as my optional was PSIR, so reading good books definitely added to my value addition in the subject.
So any specific scholar do you follow in PSIR, specifically in international relations?
So I follow Dr. Jaishankar and I tend to replicate whatever he says on my answer sheet. Okay.
Okay. So now we will be going in the section by section manner. So let's first start with the prelim section, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the prelims, like what kind of strategy you have adopted?
So with respect to prelims, what I did was to prepare my base notes and static part really effectively. Apart from that, I tried to prepare some amount of current affairs because current affairs is an unlimited thing. So I tried to keep my sources limited, for example, restricted to Vision current affair magazine specifically. And the third thing which I did was to appear for multiple tests, as many tests as I could, and try to analyze on the basis of that where I am going wrong, my hit ratio on the correct to incorrect questions, how to do the guesswork which is needed, like statements focusing on some, many, or like that.
But this particular year's examination was completely different from the previous year's prelims, right?
Yes, sir.
So how did you like tackle this particular issue?
So with respect to that, one thing which particularly helped me to clear this year examination was to study my hit ratio in a very effective way. So I had an assumption that if I do so many questions, I had the confidence that I will be doing so many questions correct. But seeing the examination, I was also afraid to check the result, and I did not check my result till the end. Only after the prelims result came and I found my roll number in the list, I was very elated that.
Were you confident like your prelims will be clear?
Sir, I had some instinct that I will be clearing the examination, but as is this with examination, it is a very unpredictable thing. So 100% confidence on myself is a bit overstated, if I could say that.
But still, like if how one has performed, one knows like after appearing
Yes,
for the
sir. Yes, sir.
examination, one knows. So there is another dicey aspect which is CSAT, right?
Yes, sir.
So coming from a technical background, like how did you manage CSAT and whether there was a need to manage CSAT even?
Sir, I completely feel there is a need to manage the CSAT because if you do not perform well in that, you are eliminated from the examination itself.
Exactly.
So getting the 66 marks which are required for that becomes very essential. And for that, sir, I looked over the previous year question papers.
Okay.
I solved some English comprehensions from that, and I just had a look over the various mathematical tricks which are needed for the examination.
So regarding this revision and practice, so first we will come to practice. So regarding practice, how many questions or how many like test papers are sufficient for a candidate who is like appearing for his first attempt?
Sir, as this preparation strategy is very person specific, so I cannot comment on the number of papers the person needs to qualify it. But I would suggest the aspirants one thing, that to start their answer writing practice and the revision practice from a very initial stage. For myself, I can comment that I started my answer writing from the first day of preparation itself, and revision just after a week or so. So this overall effect gives you a cumulative edge in the end.
So once you are getting a feedback that okay, this particular section of your preparation, let's suppose modern Indian history, let's suppose polity, if there is any kind of remarks, obviously the remarks is in form of sectional performance that you have done. So how did you manage that thing and completed those things from your end?
So for example, if I get an adverse remark in one of my answer writing papers that you have not mentioned so and so, so I made a mental note of the thing and tried to replicate it in the next paper. And for example, if I am missing out a very important point which the examiner has pointed out that you should have written this, so I also made a note of that and added it in my notes itself. So these were the strategies, sir.
Okay. And how frequently you were revising the different concepts, let's suppose any subject?
So with respect to revision, what I can say is that I used to revise them multiple times. For example, when a subject got over, I revised it completely and appeared for 1 or 2 tests, so that I can evaluate my performance, that it's okay that I have completed so and so, and what improvements are needed here. And apart from that, also sectional tests are also available. So if I am appearing for a sectional test, I used to revise that section also, so that I could appear for the test.
Okay. So the how many revisions are good to go? Like, is there any specific number from your side?
Sir, as I mentioned, it is a very person-specific thing.
Exactly. Yes.
But I feel that before the mains, you should at least revise all of your subjects 3 to 4 times, at least.
Okay. So as per you, what kind of mistakes the students are committing as far as the prelims preparation is concerned?
Sir, a couple of mistakes the people, which I feel that the candidates are making, is first is that they are looking for perfection. They are looking for the perfect preparation, which will never happen, because UPSC has such a vast syllabus and such a vast array of material that you cannot prepare everything. So you need to accept that in some measures preparation will be imperfect. And in the second thing which I am taking a look at, where the people are making mistakes, is not to prepare their static part really well. They are going after current affairs, which is a very dynamic thing and it changes from year to year, but static part gives you a certain set of marks which gives you a boost in the examination. And the third, which I found out that the people are not doing well, is the appearing for the tests, which I would say, because test builds up the muscle memory of a candidate, and if you are able to, if you are even sitting for the test, it gives you the ability to sit for that 2 hours of examination in a proper and an efficient way, where you are able to concentrate on the questions at hand. and replicating that over and over again builds up your capacity and the confidence required.
Right. So from when like you shifted your preparation completely towards prelims?
Sir, if the prelims was in the May, in the month of May, then I started to prepare exclusively for prelims from March itself.
And that time you were like completely shifting towards prelims or doing some kind of like mains related preparation?
No, sir, completely to prelims.
Okay.
From January to March, I was doing some amount of prelims as well as some amount of mains, especially with respect to my optional and value addition which is required.
Okay. So what
But
kind of
post-March.
difference is there? Like, sorry to interrupt, but what kind of difference is there in general in prelims as well as main strategy?
Sir, with respect to the material covered, I don't think there is much of a difference there. But when it comes to prelims, you need to get into the mind space of clearing an MCQ test. So the test series change and the nature of thinking about questions also changes, because in prelims you have all the answers in front of you. So now your mind needs to work to eliminate the wrong answers to get to the correct answers. And apart from that, some amount of mathematical capacity with respect to CSAT is also needed.
So have you gone through this Lakshya mentoring program also?
Yes, sir. I went through the Lakshya mentoring program. Sunil Dagar sir was my mentor in that group.
Okay. So how was your experience?
So it was a good experience, and the mentor was very proficient in the material he was teaching, and he was giving some invaluable guidance on how to write answers and how to value add on the answers there.
So now coming to this particular area where we'll be discussing regarding the Abhyaas also briefly.
Yes, sir.
So have you appeared this Abhyaas test?
So, sir, I haven't appeared for Abhyaas test, but I used to always take a look at what were the questions given by the Abhyaas test series, because these are one of the very high quality test series which appears towards the examination date itself. So I used to bring these solutions over and used to go over them and value add them into my notes.
Okay, and was that helpful to you in general in your preparation?
Yes, sir. It expanded my outlook with respect to whatever extra points which I could write, some newer ideas and newer aspects with respect to answer writing.
With this, we have like concluded this section of
Yes, sir.
prelims. Now coming to the main specific aspect. So mains is a kind of like huge aspect when it as far as the UPSC preparation is concerned, and in the final list also like mains contributes a lot, right? So what was your strategy in general for the mains preparation?
So my strategy was very simple. What I did was to revise continuously, do my answer writing honestly, and take the remarks in a very constructive way. So a combination of all these led to me scoring well in the mains.
Okay, so what was your specific strategy, if I may ask, for paper 1, general studies paper 1?
So for paper 1, the part which includes subjects like geography, modern Indian history, society, among others, my strategy was to take a look at my base notes and reread them completely again and again, and try to appear for tests in particular. Some amount of dynamic part was also involved here with respect to society. So I tried to go over the newspapers to find out if there was any relevant content which was available, so that I could add it in my answer sheet.
So were your base notes completely based upon the VisionIAS classroom program or any other kind of value addition you have also?
Sir, some amount of value addition came from the test series, but the base was from the classroom itself.
Okay. And what about paper 2, because you have PSIR as your optional subject also, right? So what was your strategy for general studies paper 2?
So for paper 2, it is a very dynamic thing. So paper 2 involves subjects like polity, international relations, social justice, among others. So the main thing here was to combine my PSIR preparation with these things as well. So here the base notes were always in the form of my PSIR notes. So what I did was to read the newspapers daily, read the current affair magazines to find out any emerging issues which are coming in these subjects, and to add them into my base notes and practice them regularly, so that it is imprinted in my mind to replicate it in the examination.
Right. So coming from PSIR background, is it needed for a candidate to prepare specifically for GS2, or same content will be going with GS2?
Sir, I would definitely say that having PSIR will give you an edge, but it is not a complete edge, as you have to sharpen it regularly.
Right.
So even if a candidate is not from PSIR, he can prepare it really well.
Okay. So like what was the difference in answer writing as far as the PSIR optional is concerned and the general studies 2 is concerned?
Sir, there are a few differences here. First is that in PSIR you are mainly writing paragraph wise, While in GS2 you have to write it in point wise so that the examiner has a ease of viewing. The second difference would be that in PSIR the value addition material is quite different. Here you have to prepare the thinkers, you have to prepare the analysts what they are saying, and some amount of data. While in GS2 there are a lot of charts you can prepare. You can prepare a lot of diagrams. Strategic thinkers are not required mainly here, and you have to prepare for some amount of data points as well so that you can make your point effectively.
So what were the sources mainly you referred for the general studies 2 related preparation?
So for general studies 2 preparation related things, I mainly went through the standard books like Lakshmikant and all, and in addition to that I went through the vision value added material as well, so that supplementary things could be added there. And the third important resource which I went through was the test series model answer papers, so that value addition could be done in an effective way.
Okay. Now coming to the general studies paper 3,
Yes, sir.
economy is a major aspect
Yes,
which
sir.
generally students are
Yes, sir.
fearful of.
Yes,
So how did you tackle general studies 3?
So GS3 will include subjects like economy, environment, disaster management, security, among others. So I feel this is the most dynamic part of the paper and of the GS studies. So here what I did was to refer the vision value added notes, and then I went through the test papers. So whatever was coming there, I was simply adding it there. And in addition to that, certain subjects like agriculture, I was referring to YouTube and the government websites regularly so that I could find out what schemes are coming here and what newer outlook which I can give to the answer, so that my answers are more enriched than the others.
Okay, so regarding this disaster management, internal security, how did you manage these subjects which are not specifically part of the prelims related syllabus?
Sir, I prepared the subjects quite late, so I had an interest in security, so preparation was not that much necessary here. And for disaster management, sir, I referred to the value-added material of Vision mainly, so that it was a very thin booklet, so I could prepare it completely within a short period of some days, and it also overlaps significantly with environment and geography. So I could build upon that knowledge as well.
Right. So now coming to very crucial aspect which is general studies for
Yes,
ethics.
sir. Yes, sir.
So regarding ethics, like there are different kind of formats, like there are quotation based questions, there are questions which are provided in the paragraph format,
Yes, sir.
there are some case studies also that have been
Yes, sir.
provided. So how did you tackle all these different kind of aspects?
Sir, with respect to ethics, my selection in the first attempt of mains was not successful because I had left 6 questions in the ethics paper. So the first thing which I completed was to ensure that my time management is well. And now coming to the various different types of questions which are available in ethics. First coming to the static based questions like which are based mainly on the keywords which is provided in the syllabus. So I prepared notes for each word in the syllabus so that I have a basic idea of what I can write or not write there. In addition to that, I prepare the examples of various civil servants who are imbibing those qualities and who are doing some good work. And in addition to that, I prepared certain set of diagrams as well, which I can utilize in the first paper so that my answers become more enriched. Now coming to the quotation based questions, this time the quotation based questions are also a bit difficult.
Okay.
So here my preparation of PSIR came into play because PSIR also has some quotation based questions. So I was able to know what I wanted to write there in an effective way. And coming to case studies, I feel that case studies were my strength in the first attempt as well as in the second attempt, because I come from an administrative background. So having experiences of father and as well as of my uncle helped me a lot. But still, I wrote a lot of test series and a lot of answers so that I could pinpoint the issues in a proper way, and so that the presentation part was also looking good in that.
So what extra did you do for the presentation related things in ethics?
So for presentation, I did what every serious candidate does. First was to ensure that I have some good quotations available with me. Second was to ensure that how am I answering the questions bit by bit. For example, in the case studies, there are 3 options. So I had to prioritize which thing which I had to give more preference to, and how should I present it using the help of diagrams in case of stakeholders, so that a small diagram could represent all the stakeholders in an easier way. And in addition to that, I was working on the introduction and the conclusion, because a good start and a good end will definitely impress the examiner and ensure that a good amount of marks are awarded to me. So these are the things I did, sir.
So as you talked about this introduction and conclusion related things, many of the aspirants are even currently confused that whether we can include other general studies subject based introduction and conclusion in ethics. So can a candidate do this thing?
Sir, there is no such thing as a right or wrong answer. There is only an appropriate answer. So if the material you are having is appropriate to the needs of the question, you can definitely incorporate that.
Exactly. Okay. So for the quotations that you are like pointing, and also there are some kind of like great personality related examples. So was there any source of examples you have followed, or you accumulated those over a period of time?
Sir, I accumulated those over a period of time.
Okay.
Plus, I had this habit of reading
Okay.
a lot of books. So this also helped me a lot, so that I could add a substantial bank of material, so as to speak.
Okay, that was very insightful. Okay, so now coming to the political science, which is your optional subject. So, regarding political science and international relations, what was your strategy like from very scratch?
So from very scratch, as I was a very newcomer in this thing, so what I did was to watch some lectures with respect to that, and after watching the lectures, I prepared my base set of notes, and I tried to continuously add certain things into them through newspapers, through various books, through various websites like ORF, Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies, among others. In addition to that, for my second attempt itself, I went through the source books themselves, so that I get a hang of what quality of language is also used, because in these papers where you are writing in paragraph format, it's very important you know the keywords and what type of language is needed here. In addition to that, sir, I also went deeper into what kind of structuring of for the answers which are required. So by trial and error, sir, I was able to prepare this paper very well.
Right. So, what is the role of answer writing? Like, how frequently you were doing answer writing for political science in general?
So very frequently, I was doing it on a very regular basis, so that I get a practice of what things which I need to write there and how I should write them. And in addition to that, what kind of things are not needed to be written there, so that you get a very limited amount of space there, and in that you have to create the maximum impact. So rather than knowing what is to be written, you have to know what also not to be written there. So that's
Right, right. Regarding scholars, like you have a list of scholars that you will be quoting anyhow this particular question comes, or that will be based upon what kind of question, whether there is a need to quote any specific scholar in that question.
Sir, I would say with respect to the addition of scholars, it is the salt in your main answer. So it needs to be used in a right and an appropriate way. So I had prepared my base set of scholars, but I did not use them everywhere. I found out whether the quotation or the remarks made by the scholar is relevant to the answer sheet, to the question paper and the question which is being asked.
So now coming to the essay section,
Yes,
as quotation related discussion we have already done in the ethics. So essays are also these days kind of quotation based.
Yes, sir.
only. So how did you tackle this essay related things?
So the thing with essay is that the main thing which you need to do is to write some essays and get them reviewed on a daily basis.
Right.
The more you write essays, the more you try to incorporate the remarks given by the examiner, the more improvement you will see in your essays.
Exactly.
I also followed some basic strategies like pestle method and writing it in short and crisp paragraphs, but ultimately writing practice always helps.
Roughly how many essays you might have written before exam?
So from prelims to mains, I wrote around 20 to 25 essays.
20 to 25.
25 essays, yeah.
Okay, and were they all based upon the quotation based questions, or like there were general studies overlapping questions were also there?
Sir, as the pattern of the examination is shifting more into quotation based, I wrote all of them in a quotation format only. And for general studies, I had the confidence that I had the material prepared with me, that I will be able to replicate it in the exam paper.
In general, if I'll ask regarding overall essay preparation, how did you accumulated your content over a period of time regarding essay?
So few things I accumulated over a period of time was the quotations and the various examples which we use in essays.
Right.
Quotations are built over a period of time. So for 2 years or so, I was writing interesting things in a notebook of mine.
Right.
And with respect to examples, GS material helped a lot.
Okay.
So essays basically, sir, when you are utilizing all the GS1 to GS4 things in a effective manner over a longer number of sheets.
Right, right.
I can say that.
So once the essay papers comes in front of you, like how you decide, like you need to attempt this particular essay, what are the criteria for the same?
Sir, I did not have a set of criteria for that, because I had never restricted myself that I will attempt so and so thing. So after writing many essays, you get an instinct that you will be able to do it. You will be able to select the topic well. So I would just say to the candidates that write many essays and get them reviewed. And eventually, you will be able to pinpoint on which topic you have a strength to write upon.
Okay, okay. So suppose this examination is 3 hour examination, right, for essay as well. So, and you need to attempt 2 essays in that
Yes, sir.
particular period of time. So how much time you are devoting towards the brainstorming of individual essay?
So for each individual brainstorming, I required around 15 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes. So 30 minutes has been spent in brainstorming, and the remaining 2 hour 30 minutes was spent almost equally on the two essays.
And were your writing pattern similar in both the essays, or you are making certain kind of intentional shifts in the first essay to second essay?
Sir, I tried to make some intentional shifts, but overall the base pattern of writing remained the same.
Okay, okay. And what is the proportion of content to the examples in your essays?
Sir, I would say 70-30. If I could put that, content was around 70, examples were around 30, but examples did not come from a single branch of study. If I could say that, it came from history, it came from environment, it came from geography, it came from society, it came from great personalities, among others.
Right, right. So that was very insightful regarding this means related things. Now coming to the interview preparation. So what was the feeling in general once you cleared the means this time? Because in the first attempt you were unable to clear that,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. So
The
what was the
first
feeling?
sense was the first thing which I felt was a great sense of relief that one more obstacle of the exam is done, and the second feeling was that I do not have to repeat this again. So I needed to perform well in the interview as well.
Okay. So for interview preparation, have you like referred to any specific sources to value add in your content, or you relied on whatever content you are already possessing?
Sir, I relied on the existing content which I had, and another thing which I was doing previously was to read newspapers, because newspapers are referred by the interview panel themselves as well. So a good amount, there is a very good chance that a good amount of questions would come from that itself. So I incorporated 2 to 3 newspapers in my preparation daily, which I was not doing in the mains. For mains, I was following only one paper or so, but for interview, I was following around 2 to 3 papers daily. And in addition to that, the DAF is a very big source of questions. So I prepared my DAF really well.
Okay. So how was your interview?
So my interview, I thought it was conducted for a very lesser amount of time, and I commented to my mother that they asked me very less questions there. But luckily, I got a good amount of marks there, 195.
Okay, 195 was
Yes,
the
sir.
score. Okay, that was pretty good marks in
Yes,
the
sir.
UPSC interview. So what kind of questions were there? Were they more analytical or more kind of like on factual basis?
So surprisingly, in my interview, there were no questions. There were almost no questions on my DAF. It completely went to analytical in a very short period of time, and the questions are also quite diversified, involving questions on semiconductors, badminton, on international relations, Pakistan, Balochistan, tourist places of my state, tourist places of other states, relative comparison, among others.
Okay, okay. So these were the kind of questions that they
Yes, sir.
asked.
Yes, sir.
And was there no question on the DEF basis?
So very limited questions were asked to me specifically, but for other people, as I read the transcripts, I could find a lot of questions which were asked from the DAF.
Okay, so how did you manage this thing? Because see, interview is all about stress management, right? At that particular setup, you need to manage your stress. And when you know, like you have already prepared DEF and there are no or lesser amount of questions asked from DEF. So how did you manage your calm and composure during the interview?
So first thing which I did was that I analyzed my existing preparation, and I found out that okay, you have given the maximum effort and you have prepared really well. So even if they ask you some odd question there, you will be able to wriggle out of it. And second was, sir, I had read a lot of books, so I had a lot of other knowledge also prepared. So if in case some unexpected question came, I was having the ability to answer that also as well. And third was that I had trained myself to say no. So in case I didn't know some question, I clearly ventured out of it by saying that I have limited knowledge, because answering wrongly in the interview is a very big red flag, if you could speak, and certain number of marks are definitely deducted for dishonesty in the interview.
So was your interview a bit confrontational, or it had gone smooth?
Sir, it tried to be confrontational, but I spun the question into a humorous way, so it got released in a very smooth way, if I could say that.
Okay, and what were the kind of questions where the issue was going towards the confrontation related thing?
So that I cannot comment here. That I cannot comment here.
Okay, okay, ठीक है. Okay, so apart from this, like how did you manage your mock related things? So mock interviews helped you in this interview related preparation, or like how many number of mocks you have appeared?
Sir, I appeared for around 10 to 15 mocks.
Okay.
if I am not able to remember the exact number, but I appeared for so many mocks because this was my first attempt at interview. So I went for many mocks. The main purpose of the mocks is to reduce the stress and to ensure that you are able to sit in the front of the interviewer and not fidgeting around and not being nervous if you in the way. So, but the main interview is completely different from all the mocks which you have given, because the environment and the stress of that day is completely unreal.
Okay. So what was the shift of your interview? Was it in like morning or afternoon?
It was in the morning, sir, and I went as the first candidate of that day.
Okay, okay. So what was the duration?
Sir, it went about for around 20 to 25 minutes.
20 to 20. That is decent, I think.
I found it to be a bit less.
Okay. So, Amritanshu, now coming to the college preparation related aspects, like many students are confused that whether they are preparing for college right now and they are not able to get whether they should start preparation for civil services also at the same time. Because I think you have started your preparation in the college itself. So, what kind of suggestion do you have for the aspirants?
Sir, I would say that aspirants need to manage their enjoyment time in college with the preparation of their college-based examination and civil services in an efficient way. So, if they are starting early, they can balance it out in a easier way. So, if they are decided that they want to pursue civil services as a career, so if I feel that the earlier they start, the more easier it becomes for them, so that they get a hang of things around them.
Right, right. So, any kind of like cheat codes do you have that you might have used in the colleges regarding this preparation related?
So, the only thing which I used in college was to go through the civil services preparation in the weekends. Okay. Even if I could not study in the weekdays because of my college-based activities, I tried to make up for that in the weekend.
Okay, okay. And how did you manage current affairs? Whether you have started current affairs only after once you came to the full-fledged preparation, or like you have started from yourself only?
So the thing which helped me here was that I had the habit of reading newspaper since a very early age. Okay. So I always had an idea of what was going around in the world and what was going around me. So after that, after having this good base, I was able to go through the current affair magazines with relative ease, and that's how I began my current affair preparation.
So, as you are talking regarding this current affairs magazine, so this magazine consists a lot of information, lot of data. So, if a candidate needs to like make a synthesis out of it, like so, how a student or aspirant can do this thing?
So, for that he needs to take a look at the trend-wise analysis of the prelims paper, which is available on the internet. Right. That how many questions are available from which topic, from which subject, among others. And from that he can prioritize, like certain sections like polity, economy, geography, environment are always favorites of the prelims paper. So he should focus more on that aspect. Right. And and along with that he need to focus on the static part as well, so that his preparation has a more holistic flavor to it.
So this year the prelims has postponed, like it is now on the 16th June, right? So this particular examination, when it starts coming, like there are less than 2 months now. Yes, sir. So what students are facing right now is anxiety and stress. Yes. So any kind of suggestion from your side for the students to keep their morale up at this juncture?
Sir, what I would just say to the candidates is that just treat UPSC like an exam. And don't make it your life, because your life is much bigger than that. And if you are prepared well, eventually success will come to you. So just do your hard work honestly, and eventually you will be getting successful in your field.
I think that's it from my side. Like you have responded to all the questions very clearly, and I think with this discussion students might have got a lot of insights regarding the preparation in terms of like coming from a background where you have this background of civil services, still you made that particular journey very kind of like challenging at the time of college. Yes. But yes, you have maintained the rhythm. In the setback of the first attempt, you have cleared the second attempt with a very good rank of 110, which is a pretty good rank. Yes, and sir. I think whatever service you are desiring right now, that will be there for you. So thank you for joining, Amritanshu. It was very nice interaction.
Thanks a lot, sir. I hope I have benefited the students in an appropriate way.
Definitely, definitely. And students have got a lot of insights from this particular session, I believe. Okay, chalo. Okay, sir. So with this, we have concluded this session. For more such sessions, stay tuned with VisionIAS. Thank you.